Welcome to Friday. And for these videos, all you're really going to see is my hands, because today we're talking about knots. Alright, so the first knot that we're going to talk about is the sheet bend. And this is a relatively simple but classic knot to tie, and it's great for joining ropes together. So let's say you put your ridge line, right? You're putting your ridge line up to make your shelter, but it's not long enough. So we'll say that this orange one here, this is your ridge line. All right, now you need to take an additional piece of rope. It's going to be this black one. So now to do this, what you're going to do is with one rope, you're going to make a little loop there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring the second rope under it through the root, and you're going to move it around, and then you're going to move it under like so. Now when you tighten this down, as you can see, it's extremely secure. However, it's also easy to undo. Just like that. Now, another great thing about this knot though is that let's say that you have a much thicker rope, right? Like this one here. You have a bigger rope and you have to use a smaller rope. Well, that's what's so great about the sheet bend, is that it's good for connecting ropes of different sizes. Actually, we'll use the orange one so you can see it better. So again, with your first rope, you make a loop. You take your second rope from the bottom, you bring it up to the loop, you bring it around, then you go under under that same rope, and then boom. And as you can see, different size ropes, it doesn't matter. It securely ties these together. This is quite an elegant knot, and also once again, extremely easy to undo. Now I can see a lot of scenarios where this is going to come in very, very useful. We already did mention like your ridge line for a shelter. So you got to tie it between two trees. Not enough rope? No problem. A third time, you take it, you form a loop. Pretty much you just fold it in half. So now you have a loop here. Okay. You come up from the bottom. Okay, then you come around. You bring it, through. You tie it down. Very secure, very good knot to use for connecting two pieces of rope. Now, let's say that you're making your way down. It is a survival situation, and so you're in a boat, right? Well, you have to tie your boat off, but let's say that the tree on the bank is further away than what the rope for your boat is going to tie off. Well, no problem. You just make a sheet bend. So this is right here. This is connected to your boat, right? You don't want to leave. So quickly and efficiently, you just come through. Now this one is connected to your boat, and then this end here, we're going to take it out to the tree over there. There's a tree over there, not really, but there's a tree. And we'd actually use a different knot, but we're going to talk about that at a later date. Again, knots are very useful in a survival situation. And this one is a very simple knot, but as you can see, different size ropes, different kind of construction. This is cotton nylon woven rope. This is your parachute, your typical paracord. As you can see, this knot, very simple, but extremely secure. Come down here, same thing. It's easy with the different sizes, the different colors, right? Very simple, but extremely secure. And the beautiful thing about this knot is the ease at which you can simply untie it. And now you can use your ropes again. So, as always, please, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Every week we're going to be doing a new knot. This, I figured, an easy one to start with would be the sheep end. Because it is a relatively simple and classic knot to tie. And it's great for 2 ropes of different sizes. You have this thin one here, you have this thick one here. Different constructions. So let's say that you have bank line. You could use bank line. You could use jute twine. So different types. You make a bight on one end of the rope, which is, of course, this loop here. This is the bight. Okay. And then you pass the working end of a second rope through it. Then you wrap the working end of the second rope around both the standing end and the working end of the first knot and double it back across the front of the bight. But underneath it, its own standing end. The working ends of both ropes should be on the same side of the knot, as you can see. Here's the 2 working ends. They're on the same side of the knot. So once again, you make a bight on one end of the rope. You take the working end from a second rope and you bring it up through there, up through the bight. Then you wrap the working end of the second rope around both ropes through the standing end. And both working ends are on the same side as the knot. Very simple, very easy, extremely useful. And yeah, again, I love knots because they're so useful in so many different situations. This is just the beginning. There's so many knots. We're going to be going through a different knot every week. This one, pretty simple to start out with. We're going to get into more complex knots. And I believe next week we're actually going to show you what we're going to do with this end. Once we've connected this on how to tie off your boat so that your means of transportation doesn't leave you in a shit hits the fan situation. All right, again, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up at the bottom of the screen there, and then there's going to be a bell over there. Hit the bell so you get notified of all of my new uploads. Again, please consider that thumbs up on this video. Again, plenty of knots to go through. I hope you had fun with this.